Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm gonna have, I guess you guys can say, like a little story time. I don't really want to say that it's gonna be my labor and delivery story, just because I'm gonna talk about when my pregnancy also, like towards the end. Well, not even towards the end, like how I found out about my baby's condition, and just because I've had a lot of questions. And instead of answering everybody's DMs on Instagram, I'd rather just give you guys a video that kind of tells you guys a little bit about my story and stuff like that, just in case you guys have any other questions. And also because when I found out about my baby's condition, I had a lot of questions, and I remember going on Google, looking up videos, just so that I can, kind of get an idea of how my life would change once I had the baby, just so that I can prepare and stuff like that. So, a lot of you guys are not familiar with skeletal dysplasia. That is a condition that my baby has. He's already been diagnosed. For many of you who are like, maybe the doctors are wrong, or is it because you didn't take your prenatals that your baby has fragile bones and like stuff like that. Those are stupid comments to make, especially they're just disrespectful, especially when you ask me what is wrong with the baby, or how is he doing and stuff like that, and then that's your immediate answer. It's important to be informed before just making an assumption, or jumping to conclusions and assuming that a mother and her child. I mean, obviously I probably didn't know better either when I didn't have a baby and stuff like that, but now that I do, now I know how important it is to think before you speak. So that's why I'm making this video, mainly so that you guys understand, and so that you guys can be a little bit more respectful when it comes to asking me stuff or approaching me or making comments, because there's times where I feel like blowing up, but I know that like a lot of people don't know better, and I know I have to have patience and stuff like that. Anyways, this video is probably also going to be all over the place, just because I want you guys to understand how I found out that the baby had this condition, and so on and so forth. So anyways, let's just get started. So when I found out that the baby had skeletal dysplasia, it was in the second trimester. I might have already like mentioned certain things in another video, but I didn't like go too into it because I specifically wanted to wait till I made this video, so I can like really focus on it. But I found out in the second trimester. I think I was 18 or 19 weeks. It's like when you get your very first anatomy ultrasound. That's when I found out. So when I found out, they told me, I remember the person who did the ultrasound was really quiet. Obviously, they're not going to tell you anything. That's not their job to tell you when they're, doing the ultrasound. The doctor's the one that has to explain it to you after. But I kind of already had a feeling that something was wrong. You get that you have that motherly instinct. And then when you see that the ultrasound tech is like really quiet, I had a feeling something was coming. I didn't think that it was going to be that specifically what I was told, but I knew something was wrong. So I remember already being nervous, and then after the ultrasound, I remember she was like, okay, the doctor's gonna speak to you, and so go ahead and like get your stuff, and then we're gonna go to another room, whatever, so on and so forth. When I got there, I just remember that the doctor that I spoke to, well, she was actually a midwife, right? So at the time, I didn't know better. You know what, to each their own. I don't want to like say anything bad, but a lot of you guys prefer midwives than an actual doctor. I would never make that mistake again if I ever do have another baby. I don't know if it was just that I had a bad experience, but I had already had a bad experience prior to that, like with another midwife. Anywho, point is that when I went to the office to have her explain what was, what came up or what she saw that, was abnormal, I felt like she did not have a heart. I still remember that the way she told me, I feel like she could have done a better job. at telling me, especially because when you're pregnant, you're very emotional. Especially with it being your first baby, I feel like she should have been a little bit more understanding, knowing that, you know, you're explaining that something's wrong or something looks abnormal, and then for you to just blurt it out like, whatever. I know I didn't take it personal. I know, like, some people are probably gonna come on here and be like, maybe you just took it the wrong way. I did not. I remember specifically how she told me, and I remember I broke down. I was by myself because at the time that clinic didn't allow you to take your spouse with you, obviously because of COVID. Each clinic is different and each hospital is different, but that specific clinic didn't allow me to take anyone. So anywho, she explained that the femur bones looked abnormal. No, that they looked malformed. I didn't understand at the time, but when she told me that, I was just like, I already knew what that meant, just because I had already taken like specific classes at school, you know, when it has to do about the bones and stuff like that. So I just literally started crying, like uncontrollably. I didn't know what to do. I already knew that was something bad. You know, I didn't want to speak anymore to her. She didn't seem to care. I remember I was just like, I don't know, guys. Like, just to think about it, it breaks my heart. But, okay, so after she told me that, she said, do you have any questions? I am going to send you to a specialist, and he's going to do another ultrasound. And she gave me a referral. I just wanted to get the hell out of there because I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to think. I didn't know if I should call my husband. I didn't know if I should call my parents. I didn't know if I should keep it to myself. I was just like, what am I going to do? So I remember I went to the bathroom before leaving, and I didn't want to look, you know, like a mess walking out of there. But at the same time, I was like, I have a mask on. I don't think people will notice that I'm crying. So I remember getting in my car, and that's when I really had a breakdown. I'm telling you, I didn't know whether to call my husband because he was at work. I didn't want to give him the bad news that something was wrong, even though she was like, you know, maybe something's wrong in the maybe we saw this in the ultrasound, but then when you see the specialist, they won't, you know, he won't see that. So then when I got in the car, I keep saying the same thing, right? Sorry. But I remember I was sitting in the car and I was like, you know what? I am going to have to call Eric, which that's my husband. I like, because if I don't call him, he's going to call me eventually later to ask me how the ultrasound went. That's the one thing about Eric, that he was always very, he made sure to ask me how my appointments went, how I was feeling. And I remember calling him, and before I even got the words out, I just started crying again. And he's like, oh my God, like, what's wrong? You know, calm down, try to explain to me what's going on. And, you know, don't get like that, especially because you have to get home. Like, do you need me to leave work? And I remember I had to pull, you know, no, I think I had already started driving actually, because I remember I had to pull to the side when I was speaking to him because I just couldn't take it. So then I tell him, you know what, I just had the ultrasound and they told me that the baby's femurs look malformed and, you know, they can't see like his full legs in the ultrasound, like in the scan. And I think he cried also because I could hear in his voice was like changing, and he was just like, do you need me to leave? Like, calm down, maybe they're, you know, they're wrong, just wait till we see the specialist, like, it's okay. And after that, I remember my mom lived closer at the time to that clinic, so I didn't even want to go home because I knew if I was left alone, I felt like I was just gonna cry even more. And I didn't want Eric to leave work. So I remember driving to my parents. And when I got there, I also started crying. I was a wreck. Honestly, I look back now and it was just like, now I look at my baby and my baby's a blessing. Like, he makes me so happy. Obviously, he's still in the NICU, but just to see him and to see that he's doing better, those tears were definitely worth it. But anywho, when I got there, I told my parents what I was told. And then, well, you know, I spoke to them, so on and so forth. And then, so after that, guys, I did see a specialist. that's when they confirmed that the baby did have skeletal dysplasia. So they confirmed it at 24 weeks. And when they told me about it, they explained to me how the percentages of like babies surviving with skeletal dysplasia, the percentage is very low. I guess, how can I tell you guys? So skeletal dysplasia has there's different types of skeletal dysplasia. The one that my baby has is called OI. So when they told me about it, they didn't know whether it was, so there's one that's extremely dangerous and one that's not so dangerous. I don't know how to I don't want to like get too into, because I don't want to give you guys the wrong information. Point is that they told me, you know what, there's a percentage and there's a chance, there's some babies that don't make it while in the womb, and then there's some babies that make it only up to the day that they're delivered, and then they pass away as soon as they're born. So it was a lot of negativity thrown my way from the doctors. They were never forceful about me terminating the pregnancy, but they did, they had to give me all the options that I had. And one of them was to terminate the pregnancy, and then one was to continue with the pregnancy, and then I would continue to see a specialist and stuff like that. But there was a chance that I would also have a miscarriage. So it was a lot. In my second pregnancy, I went through a lot. Here in Chicago, I think you have only up to 25 weeks to terminate a pregnancy. Don't quote me because I'm not sure. I don't remember exactly. That's why I should have done this video a long time ago, so that I could have the correct information. So right now it's like my mind is like that's why I should have done this before. But obviously when I was pregnant, I was very emotional. I couldn't even speak about it, and I didn't want to get too into it just because I didn't want you guys asking me those questions before. And now that I'm a little bit my mind is a lot stronger now, I feel like I can openly talk about it. However, there are some questions or comments that get annoying, and that's why I'm doing this video. But anywho, so like I said, it was confirmed that the baby had that condition at 23 or 24 weeks. And then they told me that I actually didn't even have enough time to terminate the pregnancy if I did want to terminate it, because my next appointment with the specialist wasn't even going to be till like the 26th week. And that's when they were going to confirm whether the baby had the more dangerous type of skeletal dysplasia, if that makes sense. Even though nothing is 100%, how can I tell you? Like, there's just a lot. When you're pregnant, they can't really for sure tell exactly what's going to happen, because obviously the baby is, inside your tummy. But they would at least be able to tell me at 26 weeks if they think I should keep the pregnancy. Like, if I would have had, how can I tell you guys? I'm trying to think about it. So I guess they wanted to like really confirm if it was going to be best for me to continue with the pregnancy or not at 26 weeks. But obviously here in Chicago, you can only terminate at 25 weeks. Either way, me and my husband had a conversation that wasn't even an option for us if we wanted to continue with the pregnancy. Whatever happened, that we were just gonna make the best of it. We're gonna hope for the best. We're gonna continue to have faith. So I remember them telling us, if you guys decide to terminate the pregnancy like after we do your other ultrasound at 26 weeks, you can always like travel out of Chicago to have an abortion. I think in California it's at 27 weeks up to the time that you can terminate a pregnancy. I'm not sure, but it's different everywhere. And like I said, we had already decided that we didn't want to have an abortion. It was a hard decision to make. I know, like, when we explained to certain people that we had been told that, some people were like, you guys are bad parents if you guys decide to have an abortion, like what kind of people would you be if you did that and stuff like that. And that was really hurtful, just because people didn't even understand the situation that we were in. And I feel like there are some people that take that route and decide to, terminate the pregnancy because they think that it's going to be hard to take care of a child with skeletal dysplasia, or they're just afraid of what's to come. But throughout my whole pregnancy and now, I think what's really helped me is that my husband has been very supportive. I feel like out of both of us, he's the more optimistic one, and that is really the perfect balance to a relationship. I obviously, while pregnant, I felt like I didn't have like depression, but I felt like I didn't even want to talk about the condition, or I was like in denial. At the same time, I was just like, you know what, I'm not even gonna think about it, I'm not gonna think about it. I didn't want to talk about it. And then people kept saying like, maybe they're wrong. So then I just was like, you know what, let me just wait till I have the baby and see whatever's meant to be is what God decided. And if God decided to send me a baby with skeletal dysplasia, it's because he knew that me and Eric could handle it. And I feel like things happen for a reason. A lot of you guys probably don't know, but I didn't finish, but I don't want to get too into that. But I did 2 years of pre-nursing at Dominican. I wanted to be a nurse. Obviously, that's not going to happen now, just because my main focus is to focus on my child and his well-being. And I want to make sure that he's okay. He comes before I do now. But I feel like everything happens for a reason. I feel like I was meant to be my baby's care, like the person that cares for him. Obviously, that's my baby, but to be kind of like his nurse. And I feel like those 2 years that I took of pre-nursing did help me a lot to, pretty much understand certain things. And I don't know, it is what it is. Like I said, I feel like God knows who to give babies with, special needs to, because like I said, not all parents have that patience, or not a lot of couples want to even go through a pregnancy, continue on with the pregnancy, because they're not mentally strong for it. Does that make sense? I don't want to judge anyone, like I said, to each their own. But I feel like I said that now that I'm able to talk about it, I wanted to mention it to you guys, because I also, while I was pregnant, I did have an amniocentesis done. This is also something that is an option while you're pregnant. This is an option for everyone while pregnant. But for me specifically, I was told that it would be best for me to do it, but they weren't forcing it. It's just so that we can even further confirm the condition of the baby. So we did do that, and obviously it did confirm the condition. Would I want to do an amniocentesis ever again? Absolutely not. It was very invasive. It didn't hurt a lot, but it's just, I feel like I went through a lot through my pregnancy. But the reason I did it is because I've already been through other things prior to my pregnancy. Like a lot of you guys don't know, and if you do, I haven't experienced it now that I had the baby. Who knows if later on, but before I had overactive bladder, and I had a procedure done just specifically because of that, because of the overactive bladder. So in my mind, when they told me I had to do the amniocentesis, I was like, okay, if I have gone through other things before, like, and they're giving me the choice to do this to confirm my baby's condition, like if I can go through all the other stuff, I can go through this. And if it's gonna, if it has to do with my baby, I'm gonna do it. So a lot of people say that you shouldn't do it because there's that small percentage of you having a miscarriage. But like I said, we've always been very positive. Not that I didn't care, or was like, oh, who cares if I have a miscarriage? Absolutely not. I had to think about it a lot before doing it. I mean, before like actually having the amniocentesis done. But I knew it was something that needed to be done. And yeah, if you guys have questions on the amniocentesis, and you want to DM me or anything like that, you can. I can like tell you guys more about it. Let me drink something first so I can continue. My throat was getting dry from all the talking. But yeah, so I had the amniocentesis done also like at week 23. I don't exactly remember when it was done, but while you're getting it done, they're still monitoring the baby's heartbeat, and they can like also see the baby through an ultrasound to make sure that the baby is okay while they're doing that. Well, if you guys don't know, it's like a long thin needle. It's not even that long as people make it seem. It's a long thin needle that goes through your belly into the like it's to get amniotic fluid so that they can, you know, send that for testing. But you can feel it when it goes in, and it is dangerous, like I said, because if it reaches the baby, obviously it can be very harmful to the baby. But I'm trying to see what else I need to tell you guys. Also, my baby is in NICU right now. He's doing a lot better. He has been there. It's going to be a month on the 23rd of June. He was born on May 23rd, and he was 7 pounds, 11.5 ounces. And a lot of you guys don't know, I never mentioned this to you guys before, but another thing that they had told me before the baby was born was that he was going to be most likely premature. They did say that they didn't think he would weigh more than 6 pounds. And if anything, they were like for sure he was going to weigh 5 pounds. So my mistake was that I believed that, and I bought a lot of clothes that is super tiny, and I took the tags off of them. So I bought premature and newborn clothes. I'm telling you, the clothes are super, super tiny. And he's not even going to get to use them because he actually he weighed 7 pounds. And maybe at some point he could have used them. But since he's been in the NICU, he's just been in a diaper and then a blanket over him. And well, now he weighs 9 pounds. So that clothes, I'm not even going to get to use it. I'll probably just keep it in case in the future we have another baby, or if I know someone who has a baby that will fit into that clothing. But I'm really happy that they were wrong about that. I'm happy that my baby is chubby. If you guys haven't seen him, he has a little double chin and he has so much hair. He's the cutest and sweetest little thing. And I'm not just saying that just because that's my baby. And now I understand how, you know, obviously every mom is going to think that their baby is the cutest. But I'm telling you, he is so cute and he's so sweet. But like I said, I'm really happy that he weighed 7 pounds. They didn't get the length of the baby when he was born. I remember asking, I think they didn't get the length. Just because while he was in my tummy, he was like, the way que se acomodó, one of his little legs is like up. He's slowly going to move it down. I guess he's so like bolita inside my tummy. And then because of his condition, he has like bowed legs. So I think it's getting better now, but that's why they didn't get his length. But you know, it's okay. What's another thing? So I did want to tell you guys that I did have a C-section. Like I said, he was breached. He came before the scheduled date that I had for my C-section. He was supposed to be born the 25th at 10 a.m. So May 25th, it was supposed to be on a Tuesday. And that's actually the day I got discharged from the hospital. I got discharged that Tuesday at night. So I had him Sunday, and then that Tuesday I was discharged because everything was looking good. My incision was looking good and everything. Like I didn't have an infection. Otherwise I would have been out on Thursday. And then another thing, a lot of you guys asked me, like, because I had mentioned that I was dilated 6 centimeters when I got to the hospital. So I had contractions for 24 hours before actually going to the hospital. I wanted to wait it out just because I didn't want to get there and for them to have me waiting and for them to have me walking back and forth. It was stupid. It still doesn't really make sense why they had me wait till I got till I dilated, because I was gonna have a C-section either way. But I think they had hope that he was gonna eventually turn. However, it still doesn't make sense, because with the condition that my baby has, he has fragile bones. So him coming out vaginally wouldn't have been safe either way. So they still would have wanted him to be a C-section. So it's just not like there's some stuff that just didn't make sense. So I remember calling the doctor to let her know that I was having contractions, and I was thinking, okay, you know, if I call her, she's gonna tell me come in and we'll just do the C-section. But I guess because it was the weekend, she wanted me to wait, and she was just like, you know, don't come in until, you know, your contractions are not so far apart, and if you think that they're manageable, don't come in. So I was like, okay, you know, I'm just gonna wait. And sure enough, I went when my contractions were 3 minutes apart. So I used like this app. If you guys want me to tell you which app it was, just go ahead and DM me and I'll tell you. I love this app. So I used that app since this was my first baby, and I wasn't sure, like, I just didn't understand how you could tell, like, if you're having contractions, so on and so forth. So I used it, and then that's when I decided, you know what, it's time to go to the hospital. But yeah, I'm trying to see what else I can tell you guys. I don't want to forget anything. But anyways, for those of you that don't know, like I said, skeletal dysplasia is, you know, has to do with the baby having fragile bones. So I haven't been able to carry him, unfortunately. As soon as I had him, he was transferred to the NICU, and we didn't even get to do skin to skin. I make sure to go every day to the NICU so that, you know, the baby knows my voice, and so that he also knows my husband's voice, because he's already been there for almost a month. So obviously it's been tough. It's not an easy situation to be in, which is why I understand, like I said, why people make the decision to terminate a pregnancy or to go on with the pregnancy. That's really, you know, you have to be respectful. Everybody's situation is different, and the reason that they make a decision is really up to them. But I'm telling you, if you can't handle a certain situation, you know, that's not what I was gonna say. I was gonna say being a mom is not for everyone. Like, it's already hard as it is, and then to have a baby with you know, a certain condition is obviously, it makes it a lot harder. It's not impossible, and I'm actually good right now. Like, mentally, I feel like I've been good. I'm not gonna lie, the first 2 weeks that the baby was in the hospital, I was kind of a wreck. Like, I would just randomly cry because I just couldn't really believe the situation that I was in, and I felt like my whole world was coming down. And then lately, I feel like I've gotten a lot stronger, just because I'm like, you know what, he needs me, and if I'm stressed, I'm gonna take that stress to him, and that's not, he obviously doesn't need that. He has enough going on being in the NICU. Not only that, but I'm pumping, and I've been told that if I'm pumping and I'm stressed, I'm not gonna have any more milk supply, and I obviously don't want that to happen, because I want to be able to give him breast milk, because I know it's good for him. So I'm just letting you guys know that if you are in the same situation that I'm in, or if you have you're having a hard time because your baby's in the NICU, it's gonna get better. It's obviously gonna take a lot of time. I'm still trying to, you know, be completely 100, as you know, people would say. I'm not fully there yet, but I feel like I'm in a spot where I feel a little bit better to talk about it and to answer questions. But like I said, you have to be respectful and not just assume that you know someone's child and, you know, the situation that they're in, because you don't. And don't try to give your opinion when it comes to certain things, because at the end of the day, the parent is going to do what's best for her and their baby. So like for me, for instance, a lot of people try to give me like advice as to what I should do when the baby's out and stuff, and I'm just like, dude, do you not see that my baby has a certain condition? Or do you not understand that, like, I'm gonna do what's best for the baby. Like, I just don't understand how some people can still be so stupid. Does that make sense? Anyways, but yeah, if you guys have any other questions, don't hesitate to ask me. I think some of you guys asked me if I had the baby at 39 weeks. I actually did not. The baby was born on 38 weeks and 5 days, and he was born in the morning. And what else? Well, he's a Gemini, so he does have a little bit of a, you know, a sass to him. He has a one-of-a-kind personality, but like I said, he is the absolute cutest, and he's the best decision that I have made. And I'm so happy that me and my husband decided that, you know, we were gonna, you know, be in the situation, and that no matter what, we're gonna be there for my little baby. But anyways, that's it for today, guys. If you guys have any questions, like I said, don't forget to leave them down below, or you can always DM me on Instagram. Don't be shy. Like I said, I'm really nice. Just know that there's boundaries, and that's it. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys. Mwah.